Hi, this is Kyle Newton, and I want to thank you for taking a few brief moments to watch the Awakening overview video. You know, InVision is about empowering individuals and organizations to produce a large amount of results in a short period of time through interactive learning and transformational processes. Some of the interactive learning and transformational processes are covered in the Awakening. So let's get started. Let's first take a look at the 4 core InVision events. We started with the experience, our 1 to 2 hour free experience that introduces you to the concept of lenses, these life's emotional navigation system, which leads us right into this event, the Awakening, where we become awakened to, aware of our lenses at a deeper level. And we actually look at some of the key lenses that drive our life. Once we complete the Awakening, we can move on to the transformation, which gives us a better concept of how we think in our minds, which finally leads to the mastery, getting heart discovery, really discovering, removing, and smashing these lenses. InVision is about lens discovery and belief systems. Lens discovery stands for life's emotional navigation system. And we use these bozo style glasses to represent those belief systems. It's an outward representation of an inward belief system. And life's emotional navigation system is just that. It's like a GPS in your car. If you use a GPS and you plug in a destination, you follow that GPS's signals till you reach your destination. Well, many of us have life's emotional navigation system, and it leads us to destinations or destinies or results that we want. But oftentimes we have lenses that are leading us in places we don't want to go. And that causes frustration and heartache. And InVision is about solving that process. And we do that through giving you a lens empowerment action process. And it helps you make a leap. At our events, we not only teach you these concepts and allow you to experience these concepts, we literally give you tools to take home with you to do this work at home. We literally give you a lens empowerment action process, and that begins at the Awakening level of our events. Now, there's 3 fundamentals to personal empowerment and making a leap. The first is lens discovery, what we call self-awareness. And that happens at the experience and the Awakening level, where we discover these lenses, these life's emotional navigation system, which moves us on to step 2, lens removal, taking personal responsibility on how we think. And that's really covered in depth at our transformation level. And then there is lens smashing or sustained motivation, how to keep it going. And that happens at a heart level at our mastery event. Fundamental number 1 is lens discovery, discovering these lenses. Oftentimes we're stuck behind these lenses, trapped in a glass box of our routine and our behaviors over and over and over again, getting the same results. Well, it's because we're stuck behind these lenses and we don't even know why. And we play detective for our lenses. We talked about that at the experience level in the experience video. And the Awakening is about taking lens discovery from the outside of us, these lenses, to the inside of us, really understanding how we perceive life and how that perception changes everything. So step 2 in the process is the Awakening, and it's all about lens discovery. You know, we're kind of like Neo in the Matrix. We have these programs going. We call them lenses. We call them programs. We call them paradigms. We call them belief systems, and we're trapped behind them. And like Neo in the Matrix, we have this itch in our mind that something's wrong. There's something fundamental to why we're not producing the results and the destiny we so desperately want to produce in our life. And I want to suggest to you it's because of these lenses keeping us trapped in and behind these paradigms and belief systems. And the way to begin to discover them, to discover the Matrix, is through experiential learning, through playing games and activities, getting in small group, getting in large group activities so we can begin to play detective like we talked about at the experience. So we can get into behavior, so we can discover the emotions that are dictating our life. But we have fun. One of the greatest benefits of experiential learning that we do at InVision is we have fun. Just like these kids in these videos here, they're having fun. They're enjoying life. We want to be like a kid again at our events. We want to really have fun exploring our life's emotional navigation system. And some of the programs, paradigms, belief systems, lenses that we're going to look at the Awakening is the comfort zone. We all have one of these things. How do we define our comfort zone, and how do we break free from our comfort zone into our destiny, how to get a beginner's mind, how to drop all the past and the shame, blame, and all of that and move towards our destiny with a fresh perspective, moving into a place of responsible, getting out of our victim stories and being responsible for our lens discovery, lens removal, lens smashing, how to communicate first with ourselves, then with others, and understanding the 4 styles of people that make up our community and our world, getting out of our right-wrong program, constantly in judgment, constantly looking at the right-wrongs of this world and stepping into empowerment, looking at win-win synergy that we can create within ourselves and with others. Powerful. Looking at judgment, how we judge ourselves and how we judge others, and looking at belief systems around finances and much more. These are all lenses, guys. These are all concepts that we have, perceptions about comfort zone, right, wrong, responsible, judgment, finances. And to produce a large amount of results in any one of these areas requires lens discovery. Discovering how we're seeing the world, not just through our lenses, but deep inside of us. What is our perception? What are our beliefs around money and win-win and judgment and responsible and comfort zone? At the awakening, we literally awaken to this concept. Once awakened, we can move on to lens removal, where we're not just looking at the world as if it was a map. We're not just looking at our lenses from an external perspective. We're realizing at the awakening that these are at the eye level. We're deeply seeing them within ourselves, and we move on to the transformation, where we begin to understand how we think in our mind and move on to lens removal. The experience is step 1. The awakening we just talked about, step 2. The transformation, step 3. And ultimately, step 4, the mastery. All the way through these 4 events, discovering our lenses, removing our lenses, and smashing our lenses so that we can have greater InVision. Visit our website, www.icanenvision.com, click on the events page, and get registered for one of our upcoming events. And we will see you soon.